Well, Mike, I'll start out by saying, any crack?
Any what? What is that?
Well, that's kind of an Irish saying. It means, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I've drank a couple glasses of bourbon today.
Welcome to another trip down the Bourbon Road with your hosts, Jim and Mike. So grab a glass of your favorite bourbon and kick back.
We would like to thank Tommy and Gwen Mitchell from Logheads Home Center for supporting this episode of the Bourbon Road. Find out more about their fine rustic furniture at logheadshomecenter.com. Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Shannon.
I'm Mike Hyatt.
And this is the Bourbon Road. And today, Mike, where are we?
We're out of my house, man, on Jephthah Bend Farm out here in Shelbyville, Kentucky.
So we're recording 2 episodes today.
We did. We had some listeners on earlier, but, you know, St. Patty Day is right around the corner.
That's right. It sure is. And, you know, I think that even though we are the Bourbon Road, it's not a bad thing if once in a while we don't take a side road. What do you think?
Well, every road's good when it comes to whiskey.
I agree completely. So today is, well, for us, we're going to release this on St. Patty's Day or the day before, somewhere around that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah. You got any Irish in your blood?
I do have a little bit of Irish, Scotch Irish.
Do you? What else you got in your blood?
Native American. I was showing my DNA thing to Vivian the other day, and it's America.
Yeah.
It's pretty much England and Scotland and Ireland and America.
Yeah.
5% German though.
Yeah.
I think I'm more German than Vivian's parents are.
Well, I'm I don't know. I mean, I'm probably 3/4 Irish.
3/4 Irish.
3/4.
Well, you got the last name Shannon.
A little bit of Scottish in me. Yeah, I am a Shannon. So Shannon is like the main river that runs through Ireland.
Yeah.
So I guess it's appropriate that we should take a pause on St. Patty's Day, and in the midst of all the, you know, the St. Patty's Day parades being canceled, and allow our listeners to celebrate St. Patty's a little bit with us.
They're locked up in their house. They got to have something to listen to. So why not listen to us?
That's right. Well, I have a great respect for all whiskeys. You know, I prefer bourbon. Bourbon is my preferred whiskey, but I do like Irish whiskeys.
Well, this got a little bit of part of bourbon in it.
Yeah, I think it does.
I was going to go back to that River Shannon. You know, a lot of rivers over in Europe, river comes first, where here in America it's the Ohio River.
Over there it's River Shannon.
The River Shannon.
That's right.
The River Shannon.
The River Shannon. Well, Mike, I'll start out by saying, any crack?
Any what? What is that?
Well, that's kind of an Irish saying. It means, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I've drank a couple glasses of bourbon today.
Or what are you doing? Or what have you been up to? Or any crack means kind of, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Well, you know, our listeners know we both have full-time jobs, and you've been, like, I'd say swamped.
Absolutely.
Just working from sun up to sundown. And I kind of been doing the same thing. The farm is starting to come alive. You know, it's not spring yet, but spring has sprung. Mm-hmm. You know, and with that comes a lot of outside work. And so I've been doing that. Got to go down to Bardstown the other day, took my mower down there, and, you know, I'm down in Bardstown. Might as well visit a couple of distilleries, right?
Right.
So, yeah. But today we got a special bottle with us, though. We do. So we've got Slane Irish Whiskey with us today, and it's an 80 proof Irish whiskey. It's they're part of the Brown-Forman family, and it is a triple cask whiskey. And Slane actually reached out to us, and they sent us a bottle, and they sent us some hats and some other T-shirts and things like that for us to enjoy their brand. And you know, we just thought, hey, you know what? This is a good time to sit down with an Irish whiskey and have a sip and talk about it a little bit. And, you know, we're not experts on Irish whiskey. Well, hell, we're not experts on bourbon either, right?
We're not experts on whiskey. We're just two guys that drink whiskey.
But I wanted to tell you. So earlier here, I asked you, I said, any crack? And you were looking at me like, what the heck is that supposed to mean?
I was like, we're going to have to delete that out.
But, basically that's a saying. It's like, what's been going on? You know, and you proceeded to tell me how busy you've been and how busy I've been.
We got the coronavirus that's going on. That's kind of a downer, but hey, when you're down, whiskey sales go up when times are bad.
Yeah.
That's a proven fact.
They do.
So we're here with this Slane whiskey, and I'm glad you said that they reached out to us and they sent us a bottle. Just everybody knows that we're drinking it because they sent it to us, and I'm glad they did.
Yeah. And, we'll talk about it. We'll enjoy it. We'll just shoot it straight, just like we should, know. But, back to the any crack, I just wanted to let you know that if you've not been busy, if you've just been sort of hanging out and just doing the normal thing, the answer to that would have been divil a bit, which means not much.
Divil a bit.
So I say any crack, divil a bit.
That might be beyond my vocabulary. I'm actually about to say a whole bunch of big words that's probably way beyond my vocabulary.
Well, Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it means to be a triple casked whiskey?
So they take and start their whiskey out in a toasted, it's a virgin cask.
Yeah.
A whiskey's been in it. Then they move it into a seasoned cask, and those barrels are coming out of the Tennessee whiskey and bourbon barrels out of Kentucky.
So that's a familiar kind of aroma we're getting here with our glasses nearby, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's got a beautiful aroma.
Yeah.
At first I was like, it's a little weird, but then it kind of grew on me.
Yeah.
And then they put it into sherry cask, Oloroso cask, sherry cask out of Spain. And that's what's going to give this that raisin spice.
Yep.
Raisin bread, that cinnamon raisin bread, maybe taste on it. And I've already sipped on this. You know how I like to do it.
Yeah, I know you're usually ahead of me. I like to spend a lot of time nosing something before I taste it. You do a quick nose on it and you're straight to the palate.
My nosing's not going to work too well today.
Yeah.
It did it when I started, but.
Well, let's check this thing out. Slane Irish Whiskey, triple cast, 80 proof.
80 proof.
Yeah, the nose is light on it, but it's got a bit of caramel. There is some oak on this, though. I mean, I've had some Irish whiskeys that don't have as much oak on them as this, but this has got a nice, sweet, fruity nose to it and a little bit of oak. Kind of like it. I might even be picking up a little bit of butterscotch here. Sometimes the caramel doesn't quite go to butterscotch, but on this one, I think it does.
That's that bourbon barrel, right? That
probably
Tennessee whiskey
probably is.
Cool thing about this place is there's actually a Slane Castle over there in the County Boyne in Ireland, and it's on the River Boyne, which that's pretty cool. I mean, how many distilleries have their own castle?
So you're from the County Boyne, huh? I think I'm from County Cork.
County Cork. I don't know where I'm from. I do know that my last name Hyatt is Keeper of the Highlands.
Oh, okay.
That's a kind of a cool fact. And there's a Hyatt Castle over in England somewhere. I remember looking that up at one point, and I'm sure somewhere down the line I'm related to them families.
There you go. Some noble man, right? Some big giant noble knight.
Well, if he was, he'd be awful ashamed of me today. I'm just a regular old fella.
Well, Mike, let's take a taste of it again, since you've already had it. I haven't had it yet, but by the way, Slancha.
Slancha, that sounds Polish.
Actually, no, that means to your health, my friend.
Is that like Gaelic?
I think it's Gaelic, yeah.
Gaelic?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's Gaelic. It's Old Irish, right? Yeah, Old Irish. It's Gaelic, I would say.
Gaelic, I'd say, yeah. Now, I tell you, Jim, it's great tasting whiskey, by the way. I like it. I'll get straight to the point on it. I pick up those butterscotches. I get that raisin spice on the back,
yep.
Maybe a little bit of plum in there.
A little bit of sweetness from that Oloroso cask.
Yeah, and that's a little bit different than from your normal Irish whiskey, right?
Right. I think it is.
Now, the color on this is very light. I was kind of surprised by that.
It's a golden. Yeah, just like a golden. It doesn't even go to amber, does it?
No.
But, this is not a corked bottle. This is a screw tap bottle. It's kind of a black glass, right? You don't see through it.
No, you can't. And, I don't. Maybe this would be something that back before 1870, maybe going back to their traits, you can't see through the bottle. You can't really see what's in there. I don't know if this would have sold after 1870 though.
After Garvin Brown brought out the clear glass bottle, right?
Yeah, I don't think it would have sold because you can't see the whiskey and what's inside of it. But it is a beautiful bottle.
It is. It is a beautiful bottle, and I like their logo, and I like their story. I like the reference to the Slane Castle. I think if I get over to Ireland, I'd like to go visit that Slane Castle. It'd be kind of nice.
I'll tell you what I really like about this bottle. So they got Slane engraved on the sides, or I don't know if you call that engraved or not, in the mold. And then it's narrow enough to where a bartender could grab it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of Irish whiskeys are, in my mind, are like that, or skinnier bottles.
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, probably the big one, the one that sells gallons and gallons, right? Hundreds of millions of gallons. I don't know. Is that Jameson, right? That's the one that gets a lot of notoriety, I think.
Yeah, and that's more of like a wine, almost a wine bottle, maybe.
Right.
Or old school whiskey bottle. This is a little bit different. I don't know, almost like a Scotch bottle. I don't know. I don't know what to call that bottle, but it's different. It stands out for sure.
It looks like a Jägermeister bottle. A little
there
bit.
You go.
Kind of that shape.
Yeah. But I think it's a good drinking whiskey. Smooth.
Well, we had the luck of the Irish when they sent us this, didn't we?
Well, anytime somebody sends you something free, you gotta, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. That's what I say. And we've listened, both of us listen to a bit different podcasts, and I've heard other guys get stuff, and they're honest with it. They say they don't like something, they don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't drink Irish whiskey on a daily basis. I do have an Irish whiskey or two in my collection, or in my bottles that I go to, and I enjoy them. I like scotches too. I'm not super big on like peated scotches, but I do like malt barley whiskeys, which an Irish whiskey is. And I don't know exactly, what the process is. I didn't do a lot of research behind Slane whiskey and see, are they a pot stilled whiskey, or are they, what it is. But I will say this much. It's very enjoyable. And of the Irish whiskeys that I've tasted over the last year or so, this would be near the top of my list.
Now I wonder what Ireland thinks about this, because it's a little bit different, and it's triple cask, and they're using some bourbon barrels, and they're using those sherry barrels or cask, which a sherry cask is a lot larger than a regular size cask. Really, is it like 83 gallons or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or over there would be liters. Now, did you know this place is actually on an island, right?
Oh, it is.
Yeah. They got quite a few acres over there. I think 1,500 acres, and they have a lot of concerts there, is what their website shows. And they do a lot of weddings there, and like distilleries here and wineries here in America. I just kind of wonder how popular this is because it's finished in bourbon barrels and it's finished in sherry barrels from Spain.
Well, I don't know. It's like I said, it's a kind of a part of the Brown-Forman family of products. They make sure that their brands have a wide acceptance, Now,
so Brown-Forman, right? Let's talk about Brown-Forman real fast.
Uh-huh.
How many brands does Brown-Forman have?
Oh, I don't know totally, but I mean, we could name off.
In America, right? They got Woodford Reserve. Oh, if people don't know, Old Forester.
Right.
Jack Daniels down in Tennessee, which a lot of people would think Jack Daniels just owns themselves.
They've got, we talked about Slane. We're having it now. Glendronach, which is a Scotch whiskey. They've got that. I think they have more than just Glendronach. I think they have others as well. I'm not familiar. They have some clear brands for like tequila. Again, I'm not sure which ones they are.
So my thought process on that, the three big whiskey distilleries in America, Jack Daniels, Woodford Reserve, and Old Forester. Do any of those have a finished whiskey?
Well, I mean, Woodford does.
And what?
The double, or the double and the double. Those are finished.
Yeah, but it's still finished it's not finished in a sherry barrel. I'm talking like Angel's Envy to where it's finished in
their master's collection. Yeah, certainly they have had finished whiskeys in their master's collection.
Yeah, I guess you're right there. Yeah.
As far as Old Forester goes, nothing comes to mind. Jack Daniels, off the top of my head, again, nothing comes to mind.
You know, like the apple and stuff, but that's really not finished. It's
right. Those are
additives.
I would assume so.
Yeah. See, and that's where we say we're not whiskey experts. We're just two bourbon bullshitters sitting down here for St. Patrick's Day and drinking some whiskey and talking to our roadies out there, our listeners.
Well, Mike, we don't like to do just one bottle in a show. We usually like to have at least two. So I've brought another bottle.
Oh, Jesus.
But this time, and again, we're not sticking with one brand here, and we do appreciate Slane sending us that bottle, but we want to make sure that we give St. Patrick's Day the Bourbon Road proper salute, and that does include two bottles.
That does include two bottles. What else did you bring over, Jim?
I brought Redbreast. Redbreast is another very popular Irish whiskey.
Now, that's a 12-year, right?
This is a 12-year whiskey, but in this case, I brought the 12-year cask strength Redbreast. So we're not drinking. We just finished Slane at 80 proof. Was that 80 proof?
It is 80 proof.
So we just finished Slane at 80 proof, and now we're going to drink Redbreast single pot still Irish whiskey, which has been aged for 12 years. And this is the cask strength edition at 58.2%. That's 116.4 proof. What do you think, Mike?
That's a step up.
I think it's going to sizzle a little bit when we taste it.
Oh, man.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, the Redbreast is a pot stilled whiskey. And
is that a swan pot still? When I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about when it has that swan neck that comes down?
Yeah, you're asking me things I don't know. But let me read a little bit about what it says on the back of the bottle here. It's a single pot still Irish whiskey. It's unique to Ireland. It's made in the Middleton Distillery in County Cork. Oh, County Cork. That's where my family's from.
That's why you chose this.
There you go. Pot still whiskeys are characterized by full, complex flavors and a wonderful, creamy mouthfeel. Well, let's find out for ourselves. What do you think?
Let's do it. Well, I was asking you about that swan's neck. Is when I went down Leaper's Fork, Lee down there was telling me that if you change the angle on that swan's neck by just a degree or two, it'll change the spiciness of the whiskey.
Wow.
And he read up on that, and at the age of 15, who thinks of this stuff, but the angle of it would change the spiciness and the flavor of his whiskey.
It just goes to say this is a true art. Making this stuff is a real art.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Mike, let's check it out. Now that's a different story right there.
It's got some oak in it, right?
It does, but there's more peachy, kind of a strong peach flavor to it. Nose, I should say. Yeah, so that's definitely a step up from the Slane as far as like boldness goes.
I'm going to tell you, I just took a sip of that.
Did you? Is it Pop Rocks?
Oh, my gosh. No, it's actually, there is no heat on it at all, Jim. I'm getting some kind of sweet candy with this. Not a hard candy, like maybe a Werther's original, the chewy one.
You sort of get that hard candy, like you're sucking on a hard candy, but it's got a little bit of like citrus and fruit, kind of a fruity citrus, kind of hard candy.
Mango-y maybe or something.
Apricot.
Yeah. And we've had some dried apricots today, but this is super sweet on the front end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super sweet. I'm surprised you like this.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I do like this. Remember, this is my bottle. I've had this.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm kind of shocked. I mean, this would be if you're a sweet whiskey drinker, this would be your jam. Yeah,
but it does have some spice to it, Mike. You have to admit, on the back.
Right on that very back end, there's a little bit of spice, but not what I was expecting out of a 12-year-old.
Now, what do you think about the kind of the oily mouthfeel, the viscous mouthfeel of this? It's different, isn't it?
It coats the mouth.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good whiskey.
Now, this is not, we're not comparing Redbreast cask strength to Slane by any means. They're two different whiskeys. One's
totally different.
Totally different. They're both delicious whiskeys. The Redbreast is just an expression that has been allowed to come to the bottle directly out of the cask. Fusel oils, all the other stuff that comes along with a fully unfiltered, unproofed whiskey.
It needs nothing else. This is a true drinker right here, you could probably, what was the proof on it again?
116.4.
That's surprising. It doesn't drink like that.
Right.
Now I'm sure once I stand up, something will be wrong with me, but so what do you know about St. Patrick's?
I feel kind of ashamed that I don't know much at all. What do you know, Mike?
So he was a saint in the feast of St. Patrick, but he was actual man, and he lived from 385 to 461 AD.
So he lived at a ripe old age.
He lived a long time for his deal, and I'm sure as a priest, he was living not such a bad life. But you had to do something good, I guess, to become a saint, right?
Yeah.
And today he celebrated on March 17th every year.
Yep. And this year, we'll have to celebrate in our own way because Boston, New York, Louisville, and many other cities have canceled their St. Patty's Day parades and celebrations because of, the COVID-19 coronavirus.
Yeah.
So,
you're telling Chicago done said, hey, we're not going to turn the river green?
Whether or not they pour the green dye in the river or not, I think is a separate issue.
What about what's your take on, and this is off whiskey, I guess, but what's your take on green beer?
I think it's part of the celebration. I don't think it adds or detracts from the flavor in any way.
I don't know. I'm not a big proponent of drinking green. I don't know why I can't bring myself to do it, but if I go to a bar and they had green beer, I'll skip that.
Yeah, I don't think I would order it either. I mean, it's not my thing. I mean, believe me, I don't, having as much Irish blood in me as I do, I don't even feel the necessity to wear green on St. Patty's Day.
Really?
No, I mean, because
your last name's Shannon.
I mean, come on. I've got green blood, so why should I?
That's kind of like me, red blood. I'm not wearing feathers around.
Well, Mike, what do you think about the Redbreast 12?
I was pleasantly surprised by it, and I would probably try to find a bottle of this for myself, and I like it. I like the sweetness of it.
Knowing that now, there are a number of whiskeys that I have on my bar that I want to introduce you to that are not scotches. I mean, I'm sorry, that are not bourbons.
Not bourbons.
Right.
I mean, I got a couple whiskeys that aren't bourbons, and I've kind of delved into the rye game a little bit. And I thought, I've got some Johnny Walker down there and Black Label. I think I got a Johnny Walker Red Label down there. And I got some different whiskeys here. I got a Jameson down there. You got to have some Jameson for people that come over and want to drink a little
Irish
whiskey.
Absolutely.
Or Irish car bomb, I guess. Back in my younger days. We used to have Jägermeister at the house all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I'm fascinated by different whiskeys, and that you can sit down and relax and drink one without over consuming, and not feeling so, we've talked about that, bloated or something on beer. Right. And that's why I kind of wanted to get away from beer. Plus 55 calories for, that Slane, I'm sure, is around 55 calories for that pour of whiskey for that.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. You drink one big old, like a craft distillery beer, and that sucker might be 300 calories or more.
Well, Mike, I think our goal here was to put out a kind of a bonus episode on St. Patty's Day to sort of raise a glass to our friends across the sea and, the whiskeys they produce. I think that both of the whiskeys we tried today were pleasant and surprising. I'm kind of a big fan. I've always been a big fan, but I'm certainly a big fan now. And what do you think? Irish whiskey?
Yeah, I think if you're not dabbling into different whiskeys and you're not trying those, you're not seeing the whole picture. So go out there and try something different. Even if it's going to buy a pour, you see Slane on the shelf at a bar, I would say, hey, get a pour of it. It's probably not all that more expensive, right?
Right.
Grab a pour of it and try it out. And then if you like it, then find yourself a bottle of it.
And if you need a little more power and punch, grab yourself some Redbreast 12.
Yeah. So
cast strength.
I guess I'd say happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Jim.
May the road rise up to meet you.
The Bourbon Road?
May the Bourbon Road rise up to meet you. Yeah. I'm full of Irish sayings today. So,
well, cheers, Jim.
Cheers. And we'll see you down the Bourbon Road. do appreciate all of our listeners, and we'd like to thank you for taking time out of your day to hang out with us here on the Bourbon Road. We hope you enjoyed today's show, and if so, we would appreciate if you'd subscribe and rate us a 5-star with a review on iTunes. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Bourbon Road. That way you'll be kept in the loop on all the Bourbon Road happenings. You can also visit our website at thebourbonroad.com to read our blog, listen to the show, or reach out to us directly. We always welcome comments or suggestions, and if you have an idea for a particular guest or topic, be sure to let us know. And again, thanks for hanging out with us.